mics are open. What do you think? Is this working? Is the audio working, sir?
Yeah. Anthony, happy Shark Week, brother. Yeah. I just celebrate Shark Week like most people celebrate the Super Bowl. This is my Shark Super Bowl. And we're not just talking Jaws. That's just the tip of a giant iceberg.
That's live, pal.
That is live, pal. What's up, man? Back in studio. Feels good. Feels home.
Yeah, you've been gone for a while.
We've been here, but we're back. Perfect time to be back too. Even though we're not near. Well, we're like 4 hours from the ocean, which actually 4 hours from the ocean, where the same shark bit the same 4 people in the same day.
Now, was this wasn't just viral marketing?
No, that was legit. That was legit.
That's organic.
Yeah.
Organic marketing.
Exactly. And you know what? I love that there were some, specialists on there that are like, well, it wasn't trying to eat people. It just tries to see if you're edible. And if you're not, it just goes along. It's like, yeah, but pal, I'm missing a limb.
But that's how humiliating if you get it just spits you right out.
Exactly. Like, how does it? Oh man, you taste terrible. Here's your leg back. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't expect it on the third coast, right?
No.
I mean, we knew they were there. Matt Hooper said it in Jaws. He's like, I knew it. It came up from the Gulf Stream, and it spit out that Louisiana plate, which I have hanging on my wall, by the way. I have that Louisiana license plate hanging on my wall from Jaws fame. But yeah, we knew they were in the water. I used to just have like this safety feeling that people would say, oh, don't worry, there's no sharks around here. What? All the water is connected. Eventually, the shark's going to swim this way.
It'll get there.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think sharks are pretty much everywhere.
Well, I mean, they've always been there.
I mean, I guess it made you, because I told you my dad, when we were kids, that back when they used to give birth to kids for labor, he used to make us hop in the water like we go out in the boat and we had to bring them clamps. But we had to just take our shoes off and we had to dig with our feet and then pull them up on our feet, and then we'd go in there, swim them back to the boat, and he would just sit there, and we were just basically digging his dinner out of the ocean, Atlantic Ocean.
I need to see a movie about your childhood. There's dropping things. I'm just like, what? It's all sorts of, yeah.
It's a little bit all over the board.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he used to make us feel a little bit better saying that, don't worry, there's no sharks in this water. It's like, really?
Welcome to Shark Week.
Yes, welcome to
What's
Shark
up, Anthony?
Week. Yeah.
Over the river and through the woods is here. Awesome.
South Padre in Florida, bitey bites. Yeah, that's no joke. I mean, it's the same Gulf, right? Florida.
Yeah.
It's all right there.
I mean, it's a long trip, but I guess, yeah.
I mean, when I went to Key West, I was shocked how many sharks, even just little sharks that were just kind of swimming around, like, and just like a little bit up the ways, people were swimming, like, and they're coming in closer. They're coming in closer, but people are in love with it. People are so fascinated by sharks, and that's why, I mean, Happy Shark Week to all who celebrate, because you get a shark movie, it's a subgenre, right?
I mean, yeah.
And I think we talked about this in one of my, if I may say so, I mean, you have always made great shorts. Go check out the playlist. But one of my favorite shorts was your excitement over Crawl. Over alligators, right? I love that. Crocodile Rock.
I feel like crocodile movies are shark movie adjacent.
Yeah, but they're just like, maybe, I don't think crocodiles are as sexy as sharks. Right? You feel like crocodiles don't get the same love, even though they're terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, they're true horror, where sharks, people are like, okay, sharks.
Yeah, sharks got those black eyes, like a doll's eyes.
Doll's eyes.
And like crocodiles look like they could be friendly, possibly. Yeah. Like if they were a friendlier animal, and like you could see like a movie where like a kid befriends a crocodile, and he takes him home. It's like, Mom.
It does feel like that. Maybe I think it's because their mouth is open.
Yeah.
Showing their teeth, and they're actually trying.
And they've got like kind eyes. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I told you when I was speaking of strange things that happened when I was living in Florida, and it was 3 o'clock in the morning, I was delivering newspapers for a little extra pocket change back before. I probably would have been doing Uber, but it didn't exist yet. But it was like, it was pouring rain. I go to run up, and there's a pond in front of the lake there at these apartment complex. And I was like, who left their cat out? It just looked soaked. And then I realized closer and closer, and it's just like, oh, it's a alligator. It's kind of bowing up to me. So I took that newspaper, I threw it as hard as I could, hit him in the face, and did the zigzag run. And he turned around and did the zigzag run away. I think we were equally scared of each other.
Wait, are you supposed to run away from a crocodile in a zigzag?
In a zigzag, because they can run fast straight. They can't make those quick turns.
Yeah.
So that's, Anthony probably has some crocodile stories, because he's a little bit closer to where they really live.
Well, I mean, alligators, right? Where the crocs are like in Australia.
I always get those, crocs are,
yeah.
But the alligators, they're pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
But sharks, I think, just have that sexy appeal. I don't know. People say Jaws did so much harm to sharks, and I think now people are coming around and realizing that you just can't go killing them like they're a fly. But it created this subgenre of shark in pop culture that I mean, it's got to be big business.
It's the biggest movie of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, it was it basically invented summer movie season and blockbusters and everything. So of course, Hollywood being what it is, they're going to make every possible shark idea they can for a while. And
they did.
And still to this day.
And they did.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't talk about that pop culture without Jaws, right? I mean, he's definitely the granddaddy of them all. And that was July, right? 1975.
Is that right?
Yeah, July. It was the number one box office movie for, I believe, until E.T. in 1982, before it was finally dethroned.
Yeah.
And this is back when they do re-releases, so I don't know how much it made in its first run, and how much a movie like that, if you count for inflation, tickets were probably in 1975, a couple bucks.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't much. Do you have any memories of seeing Jaws in the theaters?
Me? No, I was not born.
So
But I did see it in the theater just like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
I think I went to the 3D. The 3D
you went to
re-release.
the 3D.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I would have done both. I went with the IMAX, and now I was like, why didn't I do the 3D too? It's not like I haven't seen this movie so many times.
Yeah.
But I do. I have memories like not.
You saw Jaws in the theater?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I saw it in one of its re-releases. Again, that I can remember, because I was 4 years old.
Yeah. Well, I mean, movies used to remain in the theater for years at a time.
Yeah. Then they would just have these.
Not like now, where they're in theaters for a week and a half, and then they're on your phone.
I remember my Jaws screening. Believe it or not, I was sitting in a balcony. Remember when theaters, they just had the rows, but then they had a balcony too?
Oh yeah, I remember balconies.
Yeah, it was so dope. I just remember sitting up there hiding. just watching Jaws, and which was probably rated PG, because it's just like, look, I know a guy gets bit in half and a kid dies in there, but look, they don't drop any F-bombs and they don't show any boobs.
Yeah.
So we call that a PG.
Yeah. And I mean, the most disturbing shot in Jaws, there's really only one disturbing shot, right? I mean, it's when Quint is actually in Jaws' jaws.
Oh, yeah, that was rough.
That was a rough one, right? And that's like all you remember at the, like when that part hits, that's the most visceral image in that movie, I think.
I mean, that's pretty brave thinking about it now. Like, this was like one of 3 leads, and he was probably the top billing lead, right? Probably the most known, right? Richard Dreyfuss was a little bit younger then, but
Roy Scheider was pretty over at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But can you imagine if they did that today and just like, okay, we're gonna get Johnny Depp, Tom Cruise, and Brad Pitt, but one of them's gonna die.
Yeah.
That's pretty brave.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if this is true or not, but the testing of Jaws had Matt Hooper so popular that Richard Dreyfuss survived just because Steven Spielberg changed it and they added that scene at the end.
Is that right?
That he died in the original cut too.
Oh,
that Roy Scheider was the only one that lived.
Really?
Because he died in the book.
Oh, okay.
And this is a anti-endorsement for the book because I hated that book
right,
so much. Right. It just wasn't. Steven Spielberg saved that film just because he made it better. He 100% made it better. But yeah, he survived that, which was great. I mean, it was such a good scene. But when he has that Quint, and he just says no, it's like he didn't get all dramatic about it or anything. There's so many scenes that just hit you right in the feels. You watch them over and over again.
Yeah.
And how many movies can say that? Literally every single part never gets old. There's never like a desire to fast forward or jump to any scenes. You get re-immersed in that film every single time.
Yeah, it's great in 3D, especially if you're partaking.
Yeah, that does help. I was partaking last year when I went to Broadway. The Shark Is Not Working.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun to see that, just like that behind the scenes thing about it. But we can spend this whole entire show talking about Jaws, but like it's just the tip. There's just so much more from this shark bonanza that it gave birth to, and we got to start with the sequels. I mean, Roy Scheider wanted nothing. None of them wanted. That was back when sequels were considered a bad word. Studio people back then were not into. They didn't have the IP fever like they do now, right?
And did you know that? Well, I guess I realized this, but you think about it now, it's crazy. If you did a sequel, you actually got less money.
Oh, really?
The studio gave you less money for a sequel.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's why.
Like that was the thinking was, well, we already did this. We're not going to invest. We're not going to invest that much money in it. That's wild. But yeah, we had Jaws 2. I think Roy Scheider did not want to be in it, but they had to like. I'm sure you can get all the details in that one Jaws book, which I want to get. But he was trying to get out. He like trashed his hotel room. He told him he was insane. He told everybody he was insane.
I'm pretty sure that Robert Shaw died in real life too. So they had no chance of even filming any kind of flashback or anything. But yeah, that poster right there. I mean, to me, that's just as iconic as the original Jaws poster.
I'm trying to get it to display correctly. Sorry, but
no, it's okay. I mean,
well, look at this one here. I've never seen this.
Oh no, I haven't seen that one.
Even the idea of having a part 2 was nuts at the time. Yeah. You know?
And it was really, to me, it's just like, if you think about it, it was kind of a slam dunk. The story told itself. There, he had his 2 kids that were just watched this very traumatizing scene, right? Michael, his son, pretty much got bumped by Jaws. Like, he swam right by him.
Mm-hmm.
And, having not, because he wasn't safe in that movie. I mean, you talk about visceral scenes. Alex Kittner, dying in the raft, getting chewed up. Nobody was safe in that movie. So to have the chief's son do that was such a pivotal moment that it kind of wrote itself that you would wonder, like, how did these kids, how are they doing? Like, you guys doing, or how are you guys doing?
Yeah.
But let me just read through really quick here. Where is it?
What are you looking at?
Oh, I was just looking at the Jaws 2, like the rundown. But
right.
I saw a lot of TV commercials, like, but when they were showing on TV that it was going to be like on the Sunday night movie. Mm-hmm. And I just remember Roy Scheider, Brody, just like, if you think if I'm going to go through that hell again, you can forget it.
Right.
like it was like, without a doubt, this was happening again.
Yeah.
Like he was going to meet this once in a lifetime shark twice in a lifetime. One that was even a big, and they had to say, well, I don't know if you know this or not, but it's even bigger than the first one.
Yeah. Well, it's funny too, like thinking when you like sequels, like when a sequel comes out now, everybody's like, oh, it's going to be, how different is it going to be? Like we're doing all this different stuff. We're doing stuff you've never seen before. But originally, if you look at like sequels like Jaws 2, which was like one of the OG sequels even, they tried to like make it so you couldn't tell that it wasn't part one. Like they wanted to make it seem like it's the same movie, that you would mistake part one for two and they're interchangeable.
You're 100% right. I remember as a kid, in my mind, on it now, thinking it was like a Mandela effect, mixing up the endings.
Oh yeah.
Like I remember him, scraping that electrical wire and like take a big bite.
Yeah.
And then I was trying to reconcile in my brain, when did that happen compared when he told him, smile, you son of a bitch?
Yeah.
Like trying to reconcile in my brain, not even realize, oh, that was the second one.
It's the same thing. It's like the same thing with like Rocky 1 and Rocky 2. They kind of like blend,
They blend very well too, yeah. I mean, that one made it just right the next night in the hospital, it kind of kicked off.
Yeah.
Right. Now you're saying that another trick that kind of made that work, and it's kind of become a meme, especially in an election year, right? It's just like, if you don't think your vote matters, just realize that, the mayor in Jaws was still the mayor in Jaws 2.
Exactly.
He did not get voted out of office.
That's how the things remain the same, bro.
Even though he was there, Murray Hamilton, Mayor Vaughn, was there for the second time. I love that he's a meme. Do you follow Mayor Vaughn on Twitter?
I've seen. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's great.
And I yeah. You need that jacket. You need the Mayor Vaughn blazer.
I know, with the little anchors.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy, just like, you just look at him and he smelled like Marlboro.
But Jaws 2 was a hit, so that's cool.
And then Jaws 3 came around right around the same time as Friday the 13th Part 3. At the same time, here's a deep cut for you, Coming at You, that 3D movie that was basically all 3D. Right around the same time, everyone was going for that 3D gimmick. And Jaws 3 was in 3D.
Well, but actually, there's a story. Look, wait, Over the Woods says, what's the premise of Sharknado? Seems self-explanatory, but I've never had the pleasure to see it. Well, there's five of them. We're going to get to that.
You are in for a treat.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a movie that we'll get into it, but we will give you, if you want sharks in your tornado, we got the film for you.
It's a tornado full of sharks that terrorizes people in towns. That's pretty much it. And it's all done as a shoot. It's not, no one's pretending this is funny at all.
No.
It is a dangerous, it's like Independence Day level serious.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
But anyway, that'll just give you the short explainer, but I'm sure we'll talk about Shark Week some more. So Jaws 3, but here's the thing about Jaws 3. Hold on. Where's the image? We need a graphics guy. Somebody apply to be our graphics guy, please. I think I've told you this before, but Jaws 3 originally was going to be a comedy.
Oh, yes, I think you. But go ahead.
And they got all the way. It got all the way to almost being made, and they got Joe Dante to direct. And I think the script was called Jaws 3 People 0. And that's a shoot. That's for real.
That is great. A great.
And it was they were gonna do. I think Airplane had been a hit, so they were gonna do as a comedy and just make fun of itself. and at the last minute they swerved and they said, "Wait a minute, that's a terrible idea," or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it would have been great. But yeah, the script is out there and you can read it somewhere.
I wonder. I mean, now I feel like you can almost get away with possibly making it because to me.
Well, yeah, that would be what Scary Movie is now, or something like that.
Right, exactly.
Except no one was sure. I mean, like I said, they'd done Airplane, that had been a hit, and they were like, "What can we steal from that?" You know?
There's enough shark movies now that I think Jaws 3 People Zero would work exactly like Scary Movie, exactly like Naked Gun, Airplane, where you can pull from all the different tropes from different shark movies and get it over. And Universal can say, "Hey, can we use this kind of title?" You think there would be any kind of brand confusion? Have you ever talked about people that have brand confusion between Scream and Scary Movie?
No, I don't think there's any brand confusion there.
No?
I think people know the difference between Scream and Scary
Movie.
Movie.
But if you just kind of say it now, like now that we're like 20 years out, you don't think that there's any kind of blending in people's heads?
Well, no, maybe.
I don't know. I wondered that. I don't know if that's true or not.
I had funny story. This is just, I remember one time I had my mom came home with this scream mask from the from the garage sale. She loves garage sales, right? And she found like a Scream mask for $1 or something like that. And she was like, "Hey, look, I got the mask from Scream. Check it out." And it wasn't Scream. It was the stoned one from Scary Movie. You know what I
mean? So she had a little bit of brand confusion.
So I guess maybe it's right, yeah.
But I don't think there would be any with that now. Because would you agree that Jaws, kind of probably like Back to the Future, that people are never going to remake it? You think anyone would ever try to?
Spielberg would never sign off on that. And I mean, honestly, they've remade it 1,000 times with different titles.
Right.
So like, no, it would be pointless, you know?
No. The only one that I ever considered like a Jaws, like in the same universe that they would make. And it's funny, people talk about how come there was 3 sequels to Jaws. So they did try to go the sequel route. But I think I could get behind a prequel, the USS Indianapolis. We talked about this before, and get a young Quint just out of curiosity. But weirdly enough, did you know this? That Nicolas Cage made that movie called USS Indianapolis about that actual event.
Well, there you go. So you don't need that movie.
Yes, so we don't need it
to happen. It's like you can't, you know. You realize this when people like they stretch out to make prequels. It's hard to make them work because you know the character's not going to die because he's in the first one.
Right.
He's in the one coming after. So it's hard to really have any sort of like tension or like keep that surprise. So no, I wouldn't want to see that. I hope they don't make it.
No, they won't. I did not see it, but I can't believe did not see this movie with Nicolas Cage out yet.
Yeah,
but there was a little bit of that's a whole different story. We've done spots on Nicolas Cage. I don't know how that one slipped through the cracks, but there was a lot of movies that I think we should have been okay that they slipped through the cracks with him in it, right?
Yeah. But another thing about Jaws 3 is that I know you noticed, and I feel like you watch it, you notice it, but nobody mentions it, or maybe we just don't talk about it. I don't know. But like the quality of the image is really, really bad. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. It's one of the few stickers, that exact picture right there, that is if you type in Jaws in Instagram, that's one of the few that actually comes up of that image of Jaws swimming.
Yeah.
And I just enjoy it now. And I if I had my druthers legit in 3D, I would love to see this one in theaters again. But I know you have a story behind that, right?
Well, I mean, it can't be done because that's why the quality is so low. I don't know exactly why. I'm sure we can do the research to find it out. But they were going to do it last minute. They swerved the 3D technology and went with some new system, right? That was untested and was supposed to be way cheaper. And I guess, because those 3D cameras are super bulky and hard to use. And it's already hard to make Jaws, right? It's underwater. You've got mechanical shark. There's all kinds of things that are already hard about it. And then you add this like really hard to move, hard to use camera. That's why every 3D movie from like '70s through the '80s, every 3D shot is very meticulously planned out. It's like, whoa, yo right into the camera.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Or like
Friday
that
the
first
13th,
first shot in Jaws 3 where it's the fish guts.
Yes.
But like, so that it just makes it difficult. So they used some weird camera, and it was super low resolution. It didn't really work. Like, it's like they basically shot that movie on VHS. Like, that's how low quality is, because it would, in order to create the 3D, it would take the image and split it, instead of shooting two things. So it's like reduced the quality by half. So yeah, every time you watch it on TV or something, it looks horrible.
Yeah. And I did see this in theaters. But
I remember seeing it in theaters too.
Did you? They were the red and blue glasses, though, right? It was still red and blue.
It
wasn't the clear ones yet, or they were. Was this one of the first one that did the clear ones?
Well, see, I don't remember red and blue glasses. I only remember seeing red and blue glasses on TV
At home.
I remember every time going to you'd always see red and blue glasses on TV, like when the punks were at the 3D movie in the 50s, right? But like, if you watch. I remember going to the theater, and they were always like gray lenses.
Well, they were the gray ones.
Don't you remember they were like gray lenses?
I remember that in current, after Avatar, I remember all the 3D glasses being gray. But in my mind, and maybe it's just Creature of the Black Lagoon at WPIX, I just remember the red and blue. Or like you said, why the hell red and blue 3D glasses heels? Like, it just like,
yeah.
Like, why did that happen? But I feel like, look, we see Joe from America Genre Film Archive all the time at Alamo. We've even seen him on non-Terror Tuesday nights.
Look, here's those glasses.
Yes.
See, they're gray lenses.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You found them. That's it.
Yeah. Anyway, what about Terror Tuesday?
I think we need to talk to him and see if this is possible, right? Can they restore this and
I don't
some
know.
kind of 3D glory?
I can't imagine they haven't tried, because you missed, unfortunately, one of the best screenings of all time when they played Friday the 13th Part 3 at Terror Tuesday, and he was talking about it like they wanted to show it, and they were going to create the DCP themselves, like they were going to do it, but Universal ended up just doing it for them and send it to them. But it's amazing. Just the opening titles, okay? Like, Alamo still had the bar, right? At the time, they hadn't taken them out, ripped them out, and put the Barco Lounges in there.
Yep.
But, like, when that Friday the 13th logo came out, it looked like it was right in front of you on top of the bar. It was it was crazy. It was nuts how good the 3D used to be. Where now it's just like, I don't know. I feel like the 3D nowadays is pretty lazy. It's like a filter. This was like, I can't tell you. It was nuts, dude. It was crazy how it was coming out of the screen, and it was right in front of you.
I remember when you told me when you got out of that screening how psyched you were. I had like serious FOMO over that. And it just blows my mind because Jaws 3D and Friday the 13th 3D came out pretty close around the same time. So I'd love to have that experience with that. And I think at least in Austin, I don't know how other cities are with their retro screenings, but we know they're very beloved here. I think that one would get some beautiful love there. I think it'd sell out.
Yeah,
easily it'd sell out. The box art for Jaws 3 was also good because the biggest scene, you talk about how they blended them. Jaws 3 had the scene with the water skiers that were creating the pyramid, and that's the one that kind of stuck in my head. Even though when you see Jaws 2, that box art had the water skier on there, but I can't remember. I feel like they had one that was pretty similar to the Jaws 2 one.
For what now?
For Jaws 3, the Jaws 3 poster.
Let me see if I can pull that up.
Let's see.
Oh, look, I got a full screen of it here. Don't check that.
That's it. That's the one. That's the one.
All right,
and it still had the same vibe. Yeah, that's it. That was a good one, man.
Well, this is pretty much what the poster is too, right?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's just like just think about it, though. It's pretty much the same shark art from the first one, and they just put a bunch of stuff around it, and it still works.
Yeah.
So even the posters are subliminally telling you It's the same movie.
Jaws is huge right here.
Yeah.
Is this?
Yeah, he's like a Leviathan.
That's enormous, dude.
Well, now we got to do the clean sweep. Jaws 4, you know, the only one that came back for that was Lorraine Gray, you know, Mrs. Brody. And that also has a pretty iconic part in it. You know, pretty much the ending is the poster. Spoiler alert, if you've not seen Jaws 4, the ending was the poster. But while you're pulling that up, as time went on, Jaws 2 didn't really lose any... I mean, Jaws, after Jaws 2, yeah, that's it. The Revenge.
Crazy.
Same Jaws. Now, this is the first time I remember sitting in the theater watching the trailer for Jaws, and they said, you know, as the trailer ended, and it said, this time it's personal. And I remember the groans. Ugh. Like, people are just like disgusted by it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was mesmerized by it, but people at the time, they were just, at this point, they were done.
You were excited for Jaws 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back then, 100%.
Actually, I think I kind of was too. Now that I think about it.
But
it does sound cool when you have a personal vendetta against a shark.
So then you finally realize that this shark family is basically sharks versus Brodies for 4 movies. And they basically alluded to that this was somehow the same shark bloodline, and it chased them down to the Bahamas, where we were falsely told that sharks were not in that water.
Yeah.
And we know sharks are in that water, and they fall. It was too warm for them.
Yeah.
No. They made it down there.
Yeah.
So, but think about this, going back to just the entire Jaws series. So Jaws 3 had Dennis Quaid, Leah Thompson, and Louis Gossett Jr.
Yeah, that's a stacked cast.
Some serious...
And you could barely see them through the murky footage.
I know. 1983, that's like serious star power back then in 1983.
Oh, yeah.
And then Jaws 4, which was 1987, you had Michael Caine and Mario Von Peebles. Also at the time for 1987, for Michael Caine, I mean, timeless. That's some serious star power.
Yeah, while they were filming Jaws in the Bahamas, Michael Caine won an Oscar. And he couldn't make it to the ceremony because he was filming Jaws 4.
I feel like we've seen that interview, right? He still has the curly hair going on, and he's sitting on the boat, and it's all wet as he's accepting his award. But that's a lot of star power. So I don't know, man. I think the sequels can't be fun. Where the first one, obviously, you know, best of all time, the boat, the goat, whatever you want to call it. Where the other two, they should have a warm place in pop culture and just enjoyed for what they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, how could you not be more excited if it gets personal, makes the shark think the shark might have dialogue? Yeah, like it would have got to the point, exactly, if the shark would have like a one-liner for you.
Yeah.
Just like, how about, smile, you son of a bitch.
Or maybe there's just a shark just screams, Brody! At the end. Why not?
That's a great call. They should have maybe gave the shark some lines and like looking underwater. It's like, did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Good call. But again, we can talk about Jaws all day. But let's jump. Let's do this. You know, our friends at IGN. I know.
Wait. Before we move on to this, there's one thing that you forget, and this is canon. This is canon. Jaws 19 from Back to the Future belongs in this discussion.
That is canon.
Yeah.
I mean, that was back then. That was such a big deal. Like when worlds collide, right?
Right.
Back to the Future and Jaws coming together in the same movie.
That was like people were so sick of sequels that they were making jokes about them, right?
Yeah.
They had made 3 Jaws movies. And they had made 3 Rockies, and people were just so sick of sequels. Now we've got 10 Fast and the Furious movies. And more on the way.
Oh, yes, because besides before this, Airplane 2, the sequel, right, had the Rocky poster, right? Where he was just a shriveled old guy.
Right.
Which, by the way, didn't turn out because he's still pretty thick.
He's in good shape.
Yeah.
But anyway, you can't forget Jaws 19.
No, this was a great call out, man, because there's such.
I actually have the poster still in the tube for Jaws 19. Mondo did a run of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh man. So was it looked exactly like this, or?
It's I'll show it to you, but yeah, it's not this. It's the poster for the movie basically. But yeah, Jaws 19. But anyway, yes, we can.
No, that is canon. Before we jump off of that too, I mean, thinking about how, do you remember Land Shark, which is also influenced by Jaws? I told you
right.
I was listening to the Live from New York book, to just the history of Saturday Night Live.
I listened to that book too. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, but Land Shark was such a big. I remember my parents just like laughing hysterically over Land Shark, and you watch it now, and it's just like.
It's funny though.
Then you realize like, oh, I think my parents were stoned.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's a total stoner joke.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, it's funny, dude.
I mean, it still holds up, but it's just like.
Chevy Chase was so funny at the time.
Yeah.
He was untoppable.
No, I totally.
But when
agree.
he's like, when he does the little, when they're like, who's there? And he's like, Kent Flarson? That shit was funny. But anyway.
He must have been improvising that, right?
Yeah.
That was the line that reminded me too. It's just like, are you that land shark? He's like, ma'am, I'm just a dolphin.
Candygram? Yeah.
But again, that was 100% influenced by Jaws.
Yeah.
And then the lounge singer that Bill Murray played, back then they went with the Star Wars, nothing. But actually they had another idea that they were going to do Jaws, and then he did that song at the Saturday Night Live 40th anniversary.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was the lounge singer, and then he sang the Jaws song that they were originally going to do, but they went with Star Wars at the time. So we talk about like sharks. There's just been a love affair with sharks for a long time. But
they get their own week now.
Yeah, they get their own week. But let's talk about this just really quick, because it'll kind of prime the pipes of other movies besides Jaws. And the spoiler is, this is the top 10 best shark movies of all time, according to IGN. And I'll tell you, I mean, Jaws is number one. So we're just going to read backwards. Because there's one, you said you probably saw this movie, all the movies on this list. But going right to 10, I didn't see this number 10. Shark Night in 2011. Did you see that?
Shark Tank. Hold on, let me pull up this so folks can follow along here.
While you're pulling it up, it'll say the ratio of alpha to minnow when it comes to shark movie is lopsided towards the negative.
Shark Night, 2011.
Night, yeah.
No, I have not heard of this at all.
Shark Week obsession to the max by attaching cameras to ferocious shark is like it's great white sharks jump out of the water, decapitates a dude on a wave runner. The original theatrical billing was Shark Night 3D. Spells the in early 2010s horror vibes, going for that popcorn entertainment. But I guess that's how unmemorable it was that they really, I just read through that and I have no idea. I was like, did you just tell us what the movie was about?
Yeah, but again, you're right. There's so many friggin' shark movies.
Yeah.
It's easily for them to slip through the zeitgeist.
Here's a question. Are sharks at night scarier than sharks in the day?
Everything at night is scarier than the day.
I mean, that water is dark.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, I told you, man, and it's just like Jaws is in our brain. Like, we had a lot of irrational fears thanks to that movie. Like, what if somebody comes by in a helicopter and dropped a shark in the pool and you didn't know it?
Yeah.
Like, that's not rational, but we got that feeling. I would even say it influenced stuff like Nightmare on Elm Street, where, she's in the bathtub and then his hand comes up. If you notice, his hand kind of comes up like a fin. I think it's just psychologically, we went to that primal fear of sharks that Spielberg created that were not really rational, but it's in our psyche.
Yeah.
But anyway, when I jumped in the water in Hawaii and you just turned and that ocean is just so vast, in my mind, that picture of Jaws 3D with that slow shark was coming at me. I swam really fast. I swam really, because at that moment, that picture was no longer funny.
A JPEG of a shark coming at you.
It was just so scary that it was just like, yep, this is really happening. And I got the hell out of that water. But anyway, yeah. In the day, it felt, and if that was at night, I don't even know if I would have went in the water, period.
Yeah.
Do you go in the ocean if you can't see the bottom?
I don't know, dude. Some folks do. I think if you're one of those coastal folks, you live out there, you're probably not scared.
No.
You're used to the beach.
Bro, when I used to go to Puerto Rico in the summers,
Yeah.
thinking now, like my grandfather, like he used to swim so far out, you can just see his head. Like now it's just like, I wouldn't even go like past your waist. I'm like just like boogie boarding in these little baby waves.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
people just like go way out there.
Yeah.
And he just did that without a second thought. All you'd see is just his head. I mean, I don't know, man. It was a beautiful beach, but thinking back now, I was like, I don't know if I would do that. But again, maybe he didn't watch Jaws. So number 9 on the list, we've already talked about it. Jaws 2 actually made. So Jaws has double representation on this list. Next up, which is kind of weird, and I have not seen this because we haven't talked about the original one. Number 8 is Deep Blue Sea 3. Which I have to assume that Deep Blue Sea is on here. But would you say that Deep Blue Sea is the second biggest shark franchise out there that people know? Beside
No, I think now it's the Meg.
the Meg.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Deep Blue Sea Deep Blue Sea, I remember it was okay, but that movie only works because of the Sam Jackson gets eaten part.
Yeah.
That's the only reason that movie works. If not for that, that movie would have been lost to time.
I could see that. I mean, they went with the pretty strong gimmick of just like, Over the River and Through the Woods was talking about this. Like, what if the sharks became smart?
Yeah, smart sharks.
Like, do you remember the pitch for this, right?
Yeah.
Jurassic Shark?
Was that what it was?
They said Jurassic Shark because you had the velociraptors and the sharks kind of felt like that in the water.
Yeah.
And didn't the lead get whacked? Like she got eaten, right?
I don't know. I don't remember who dies in that movie. I just know Sam Jackson, that shark jumps out of a tube and he's gone.
Yeah.
After giving like a rah-rah speech.
Yeah. And that shark was pretty much on this tippy tail, the tip of his tail. Like he was so far out of the water, he looked like Jabberjaws from you remember Jabberjaws?
Yeah.
The most futuristic shark you've ever saw?
Yeah.
Jabberjaws? I was just like, how did you get so far out of the water and get back in?
Jabberjaw.
I was in a Jimmy John's today getting a sandwich, and the sandwich artist was asking customers, what are your irrational fears? And the girl next to me in line said sharks. I was just like...
People still fear sharks.
Yeah.
Sharks, clowns.
Sharks.
People will never stop being afraid of them.
Oh, dude, don't make a live pitch like that again before we IP that.
Here we go. Clown shark.
Clown shark, right? Just like we're at clown college that happened to be near a coastal town. They sneak out of the school to go swimming at night. Yeah. Oh, man.
It's like Terrifier and Jaws. Clown shark.
Dude, as soon as Sci-Fi starts watching our show, we got jobs because we got so many pitches for that. Clowns versus sharks. But yeah, Deep Blue 3 is number 8 on this list. Yes, there are 2 Deep Blue sequels, Deep Blue Sea sequels. Deep Blue 3, why can't I say it? Deep Blue Sea 3 significantly rebounds after the franchise blemish that is Deep Blue Sea 2. Returning to its original sharky goodness.
Okay, well, I have had no idea. Maybe I'll check it out. I never saw part 2 either, so.
Yeah, I only saw the first one. Number 7 on the list is the Meg. Like you said, you just talked about it. I mean, that is basically Jason.
And this is Jason Statham fighting the shark from the Jaws poster. That's kind of the pitch for this movie. Every time the oversized, huge shark from the Jaws, every Jaws poster, is brought to life and fights Jason Statham. So,
how is it so just believable? Like we're talking about, most people have irrational fears of sharks, but people are like, man, if Jason Statham would here, we have nothing to worry about because he would fight a shark.
Yeah.
That just sounds like such a stoner thing. I'd fight a shark, but it's very believable, right? Because I feel like the second Meg was actually even a little better than the first one. Right?
I didn't see the second Meg. Yeah, I heard it was good. Had a good director attached to it.
Maybe that was why.
Yeah.
But yeah, they definitely got into Skull Island, Jurassic Park feeling when they just started getting in the deep waters in the trench and finding these prehistoric things that were way bigger. And the Meg was smart, and it was trying to figure out how to breach that trench to actually come up into the water. But really good. Next up, this is actually a terrifying one. This is from 2003. We've talked about this before. Based on a true story, maybe? Open Water?
I do remember Open Water. Yeah, that was a big one. That was like a Sundance movie, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Like, that's when around 2003 was when video cameras started becoming really high quality, and they were really gettable. So people started making video movies, and it was the genre for a while. And so basically you're on a deep sea diving expedition on a boat. Whatever, and the boat leaves without you, and you're just there.
You're just in the water,
and that's it. That's the whole movie.
This was this found footage, kinda ish, right?
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't found footage. It was done as a narrative. It just shot on video, so it's got
like you're just trying to record your vacation, and you got it all. Right?
No. It's not found footage like that.
Okay.
No. They're not out there drowning and filming them. They're like, we're about to die. That was I don't know. But no, that was not that. But I mean, I think that had already kind of become a genre, so this felt like that. But it was more of a narrative movie.
Yeah, and this, that now I remember, this was 2003. The big deal about this one is they were using real sharks.
Okay.
Yeah, they were using real sharks when they film. Open Water strives for authenticity by going with real sharks rather than computer-generated beast.
Well, they're shooting on video, the cameras. They don't have any budget for CGI sharks.
Yeah, filmmaker Chris Kentis and his wife/producer Laura are avid scuba divers and wanted to generate as much natural behavior to the film as possible. That means they also serve as cinematographers, relying on the scuba obsession to ensure what is shot by their standards. And that's what made it feel more real than its kooky entertainment-focused counterparts.
Yeah.
But
I remember it was a disturbing film.
It was.
That was one. I mean, then they made a few of them after that because the premise was good. But
it was a great premise for sure. But just even as simple, like, all right, so put sharks aside. You're in the water. Even just kind of a larger, like a fish this big, biting you is going to be pretty disturbing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't even need to be the shark. Like Mayor Vaughn said, you yell barracuda, people say, huh? What? I mean, but if a barracuda was actually in the water biting you, you're not going to be like, I'm going to stay in the water. You're on their turf.
Yeah, and that's not just the sharks. I mean, the sharks are almost like that's the cherry on the horror sundae, but there's just being stuck in the water for hours.
Yeah.
And your body, you're running out of the strength to keep floating. You haven't eaten. The water is soaking through your flesh at this point.
Yeah.
Your flesh is getting soggy and soft and penetrable.
Yeah.
From all the salt water. I mean, it was a lot.
There was a lot, like you said. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
The sharks were like the main event, but there's a lot of other terrifying things happening at that time. Just think, you can't really drink salt water without getting sick. And if you're floating in the water for that long, it's going to seep into your mouth.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get to that point where you're like, okay, eventually let me just go underwater for a little bit because I'm getting tired, and then I'll swim back up. Then you'll go lower, and then you swim back up. Eventually, you're going to just start getting deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
But, that movie was really, really disturbing. So I'm not surprised it's on that list. And like you said, it was a great premise, but it was a independent festival film, art piece, whatever you want to call it, compared to these other films on here.
Definitely.
Number 5, which I did not see, was Bait. Before Crawl trapped family members in a flooded crawl space with alligators during a Cat 5 hurricane, Bait trapped patrons and workers inside a supermarket with agitated great white sharks during a freak tsunami. And this was 2012. So I don't know if this
Wow.
was like an attempt of like the Sharknado, but they were capitalizing. Is it as good as Crawl, sitting in a strange subgenre of when animals attack in trapped locations during freak weather accidents?
Yeah. I've never heard of this at all.
No. Oh, and I mention the tsunami interrupted a robbery, so criminals and clerks must work together against swimming killers?
Swerve.
Wow.
I mean, it sounds like a great premise.
Yeah. Really great premise.
I could get into bait, sure.
2012. Bait and crawl double feature while swimming in the water? Okay, let's do it. Then we had 47 meters down. Did you see this? I remember this was Mandy Moore's jump into the shark genre. This was 2017. I do remember seeing this in theaters.
I don't remember this at all.
Yeah, really did enjoy that. Exactly what it has. They were in a cage, the shark cage. Cage goes in the water. Shark's in the water. Our shark, and they get trapped at the bottom. The cage drops down, but they do have their oxygen tanks. But now that the sharks are around there and they're in the cage, and they have to figure out how to get to another cage to get oxygen and then swim back to the top, not getting eaten by the curious sharks that are already surrounding them. You know who else was in this? Loudon Swain was in this.
Who?
Matthew Modine.
Oh, Matthew
He was
Modine.
in there, and like this is his homage. He was actually wearing a headband like this, and I was like, wow, he's trying to play homage to, like, he had that Quint feel. So I don't know if we have to pull up an image of that, but that was pretty cool that he was in there. I enjoyed that cameo. But yeah, 47 meters down. That was back in 2017. That's number 4. Let's see. Can you guess 3 and 2 without scrolling?
I mean, one of them's got to be Sharknado.
No, Sharknado is not on this list.
Oh, really?
That's a huge swerve.
Okay, because these are... Okay, now I'm realizing. These are all serious shark movies.
Yes,
Because you also have a genre of comedic shark movies.
there is. Yes,
Right?
There is. Yeah.
So we'll
go through those too.
These are all the most serious shark movies out there. Well, is Deep Blue Sea on there?
Deep
the first
Blue
one?
3, Deep Blue. I can't say it. Number 3 is Deep Blue Sea, not to confuse with Deep Blue Sea 3. That's not
Deep
number
Blue
3.
Sea 3. You gotta say it
Yes.
3 times fast.
Deep Blue Sea 3, but Deep Blue Sea is number 3. 1999. Smart Sharks. Jurassic Shark.
Jurassic Shark, Smart
Yes,
Sharks.
Yes, LL Cool J sang a song, Deepest Bluest, My Hat is Like a Shark's Fin. And he was actually in the movie, and he had a parrot for
Oh, yeah, I
some
think that was LL Cool J's first big role.
Yeah.
I realized he was an actor.
Yeah, he's like, oh, he could do this, and he's a good actor.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was good. To me, and this, I would 100% agree with this, number 2 is clearly the second best shark movie behind Jaws, and I 100% agree with this one, is The Shallows from 2016. You didn't see this? So this was at a time where Alamo was still doing the Rolling Road show. And this was only like 1 or 2 years out of their very popular Jaws on the Water series.
Sure.
So they had The Shallows was going to premiere in this random lake in Austin. I got tickets and I was going to go, and we showed up there and it was just like so money. And they're like, oh, no, we canceled that. I felt like Clark Griswold, like, first one's here. Oh, man, no one's here. I was like, but we can't park. It's too muddy. And this guy comes walking out, eating a sandwich. And I remember specifically he was crumbling the bologna sandwich and the bread together and then eating it like popcorn. So it was somewhere down near the airport. And he's like, no, that's not happening today. He was just like, because it just came off one of those big rainstorms. And I was just so disappointed because I'd already seen Jaws on the water. I wanted to see The Shallows on the water. So I went right to the nearest Cinemark, jumped in and saw that, and was not disappointed. The only note you would have on this one was when they finally do show the shark, it's kind of like, oh, that's why Steven Spielberg didn't show the shark. Because everything else about it was great. Blake Lively, hands down, her best movie. Her best movie. She's a surfer, found this like hidden beach, surfs out there, accidentally stumbles on a whale carcass where there's a shark, and then she's bleeding, and then she makes it to a rock, and she has to try to in this shallow water make it to the shore without the shark getting her that's already kind of circling because of the whale blubber. I'm surprised you didn't see this one.
No, I just never got around to seeing that one.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
Okay, so number one?
Oh, yeah, number one is Jaws, hands down.
Okay, yeah.
But I would say, yeah, I would put that, actually agree with IGN 100%. Jaws, The Shallows, Deep Blue Sea, The Meg, Sharknado as like the ones that really stick in pop culture and will stand the test of time. I don't know, like Shallows might not be the one that people talk about, but they really should. Like they really should. I want to see it right now. Xander2 wants to know if we ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise.
What is that?
Darth. Oh, it's not a story that the Jedi would tell you, so I'm not surprised you didn't hear it. I don't know. The dark side of the Force is the path to many abilities, some considered to be unnatural.
All right. We'll do Star Wars next week.
But Star Wars, kind of like we said, where it's hand in hand, because Spielberg and Lucas were like best buddies then, right? And they were part of that brat pack of directors at the time, and those were their two babies, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and I take that back. Star Wars knocked Jaws off the list, not E.T. E.T. knocked Star Wars off the list. So Spielberg lost the crown to Lucas and then won it back from Lucas in 1982. But, sorry, I'm just trying to maintain these hiccups to not start coming out once I saw the Darth Plagueis the Wise thing. But, so, we were talking about this earlier. I mean, that's considered like, quote unquote, serious shark movies. But there's a ton of other ones. And we got to talk about the Sharknado series because that kind of has a warm place in pop culture's heart where I think people are they're already starting to forget about it right now. But man, do you remember the Sharknado fever of just like this accidental movie, just 100% taking off, and that created a franchise that was insane yet very lovable at the same time.
Well, at the time, that was sort of what is it? Sci-Fi Channel. Sci-Fi Channel had the Gimmick where they were doing these sort of like really low budget exploitation films with like really bad effects. And also like effects were getting really easy to do. You could just do them on your phone basically.
Yeah.
And Sharknado came out and it's just done with such genuine what is it? It's just like there's no winking here. No one's laughing. No one's looking at the camera. It's legit. It's legit about a tornado full of sharks.
Yeah, and they no-sell. I mean, they no-sell the gimmick.
Yeah,
they don't make.
They
it seem
completely
like
no-sell the gimmick, and it just works so well. What's the name of the guy in it? Who the lead?
Oh, Ian Ziering.
Ian Ziering
as Finn Shepard, and Tara Reid as April Wexler. Is his ex-wife, then eventually becomes a wife. It's considered a sci-fi action comedy horror disaster film.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But when you're not going to be able to talk about the period between 2010 and 2020, so these films were 2013 through 2018. They had a new film every year. So you're not going to be able to talk about film history in that time period without bringing up Sharknado. And they don't take that lightly. Crazy like they're going to reboot Sharknadoes. They're going to add an S, just like Twisters.
Yep.
They're going to add an S. But listen to these titles. So I would love to see the books to see how much money Sci-Fi made on this. Because if you remember, they basically became commercials. They would shoot them commercial free because there were spots in the movie that would plug the product.
Yeah.
So you'd get it. So you had Sharknado, Sharknado 2, the second one, Sharknado 3, Oh Hell No, Sharknado, The Fourth Awakens, Sharknado 5, Global Swarming, and the last Sharknado, It's About Time. I mean, they leaned into the comedy in the titles, but like they never they never did in the films, right?
No.
They just no-sold that. I mean, Finn Shepard, it was Finn versus sharks, and it was great.
Yeah, and I can't really recall the plots of all of them individually, but I remember enjoying all of them.
Now there is a possibility of a sharkicane. I think if you take a killer beast and a natural disaster, anything is possible. So
Well, they tried to. After that, they did everything, right? There was spider, rain, any disaster and any scary animal. They tried to blend them, didn't they? Surely there was more. If we had a research person here, we probably could get some lists going. Yeah. Jamie, can you pull this up?
Jamie.
What other movies did sci-fi come out with?
Oh yeah, they knew. We had pitched Satan Shark, and then it ends up.
Oh yeah, Satan Shark.
Satan Shark, but we had that possessed by the devil's shark.
Oh my gosh.
That's a nice.
We need to pitch Satan Shark and Clown Shark together.
Yeah, at the same time as the double feature.
Yeah.
You can film them back to back and save so much money.
Exactly. We'll use the same sets.
The great thing about zombies. That would be great. The zombie killer bees. Oh, and there was also in 2014 Sharknado the video game. How great is that? I didn't even know that existed, but I'd love to play it. But the premise of Sharknado 2, well, obviously, the premise of Sharknado kind of speaks for itself, surviving the Sharknado. Sharknado 2, while Finn and April are in New York City to promote April's new book, How to Survive a Sharknado and Other Unnatural Disasters. About the Los Angeles Sharknado, the city is hit by a severe storm causing new Sharknadoes to emerge. And then they just jumped right back in.
Trying to find some of these titles. Sorry, but yeah.
No, go ahead. No, so Sharknado 3, following the events of the previous film, Finn and April have remarried, expecting another child. Oh, man, they should have made that child a shark.
I just remember I don't know if you're going through the plots here, but I know there was one of them eventually. Tara Reid, the love interest, became a cyborg.
She did, yes.
By part 6.
Yeah.
And I know Dolph Lundgren was in one of them. And I think in one of them they went to space.
Yeah. I think
they went to space before Fast and the Furious went to space.
So we're getting it because they actually got the fans involved in this one. So part 3, the Oh Hell No, following the events of the film, they remarried, had a kid. For his heroics in Sharknado's battles in L.A. and New York, Finn is in Washington, D.C. to receive an award from the president. When he's there, he encounters a new Sharknado, which begins to make its way down the east coast of Florida. This is after that, then they're like, okay, let's really lean into this. So Sharknado 4 was confirmed to follow up following Sharknado 3, which Sharknado 3 concludes with a cliffhanger regarding whether or not April is killed by falling wreckage. An ad after the film promotes a Twitter campaign offering fans a chance to decide her fate with the hashtags April lives or April dies, with the results revealed at the start of Sharknado 4. I think that's why this was so endearing, because now it's you feel like, man, do I get a producer credit on this? The fans were fully involved in this because you were literally deciding the fate of this character. And I'm pretty sure she didn't. Oh, yeah, David Hasselhoff. I don't jumped into the series by then.
Sure. Well, we had Sharktopus.
Sharktopus, yeah, there's another one.
We had Piranhaconda. We had Dino Croc, and then we had Super Gator, and we had Dino Croc versus Super Gator. We had Mega Python versus Gatoroid. And we had Dino Shark. So Shark is always a safe bet.
Yes.
So just anything with a shark and add a twist, add another disaster.
Dude, I don't know if you knew this or not. Did you know there were official spin-offs to the Sharknado franchise?
What do you mean by that?
There was official. These were not knockoffs. They were officially coming from Asylum spin-offs. And one of them was Lava Lantula. It's a spin-off of Sharknado about fire-spitting tarantulas causing havoc all over LA. starring some of the cast of Police Academy.
Oh, wow.
And it features an appearance by Ian Ziering as Finn Shepard,
Gotcha.
tying into the film into the Sharknado universe. Like, who made the pitch of just like, all right, you guys are doing great with Sharknado. I got these fire-spitting spiders versus Police Academy. Here, take the money. Just take all this money.
I mean, sci-fi was on fire there for a little bit.
Yeah.
They were just putting out banger after banger.
And listen to this. The second official spinoff was Two Lava, Two Lantula.
Well, yeah, Lava Lantula was another one, so I guess that's the sequel.
Yeah, a sequel to Lava Lantula called Two Lava, Two Lantula premiered on Sci-Fi in 2016. Some of the cast from the original film returned, including Steve Guttenberg, Marion Ramsey, and Michael Winslow. Can you imagine he's fighting the spider with fire, and he's just like... How did I not see these?
I don't know. I do remember the Police Academy one. I remember seeing trailers for it and stuff.
You did?
Yeah. I think I remember that.
Yeah, and then the last official one was in 2022, and it was called 2025 Armageddon. 2025 Armageddon is the crossover film released to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Asylum and features an alien race using Sharknado along other films from the Asylum as the basis for monsters sent to attack Earth. The film was released on digital storefronts December 2022.
Oh, by the way, we can't play it here on the show because we'll get dinged. But the theme song from Sharknado is a banger.
Oh yes, you played it here before.
Yeah,
that's some of our pre-show.
Folks at home, you can put it on yourselves, but it's like it's almost like a punk song. You gotta put it on.
We're gonna need to figure out how many seconds we're allowed to play.
We got like 2 seconds, but this is live. I can't time it. It's not like an editing.
Fast.
And then you gotta like add background music so the algorithm can't. It's tough.
It is tough. Kralak, Sharknado Cinematic Universe has more movies than the DCEU.
Yeah.
It seems to. I think if you timed the dates, it may have lasted longer.
So why did they die off? I think just cable TV was what lost its pull, and it's also event viewing kind of lost its pull. Like this was like
it was event viewing.
It was a movie of the week that
100%.
once a year. And so if you put this on, I don't know, does this work on Netflix or whatever? I don't know.
Well, we talked about this and we haven't watched it yet. What is it called? Under Paris.
Oh, Under Paris.
About the shark under there. I don't know. I mean, Netflix doesn't let people in on if that works or not, but I'd be shocked. Shark movies in July are like a slam dunk.
Yeah.
I mean, Shark Week is greater than Truck Month in Texas, and that's no joke. But I think you're right. There really is like Sci-Fi. Is Sci-Fi owned by Universal? Do we know?
I don't know who owns Sci-Fi. Let's see.
But I think you're right because I mean, you're saying going back to cable was the way to go, and we have a lot of shorts that you made about that. But I think just like you said, if you drop this movie, it's not really going to be event viewing.
Is there even event viewing anymore?
I don't know. I don't feel like
I miss event viewing. I
mean, during the pandy, the event viewing was watching Marvel drops at 2:00 in the morning. Mm-hmm. I think that was the last.
That was the last event viewing because we were all stuck inside and we had nothing to do.
We really had no.
Sci-Fi
choice.
Channel is owned by NBC Universal.
Okay, so this would be on Peacock.
Yes,
I can totally see this working on Peacock.
Yeah, but again, I just don't know that it doesn't work without the event viewing part of it.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I'm very anti-streaming. You know me.
Yeah.
I see it as the devil.
Somebody else was saying I don't know if it's the phone was reading your text, but I saw a meme of this person basically making fun of somebody whose favorite movie is left streaming, and then he has a box of DVDs behind him and he's just like, oh, I feel so bad for you, and he had all these DVDs just like stacked up.
Well, yeah, I mean, we just had the Spectrum outage on Tuesday. I had no internet all day. Okay, do you get? And then when in that moment, I was just went right to my 4K wall. It's like, what am I going to put on here? in the background. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Also did that during the snowpocalypse a few years ago. But anyway,
It feels special when you actually put in the disc. Like, it takes a little bit of effort. Kind of like the same reason theaters work for us, right? It takes a little bit of effort to go do it.
Which reminds me, I'm going to send you home with a DVD. Don't let me forget.
Okay, yes.
But yeah,
do you have any in your physical media collection? Do you have any shark movies?
I don't know. I don't think so. I have Jaws on VHS.
Yep.
But I don't think I have any other shark movies. I mean, look, I hadn't seen hardly any of these top 10 shark movies. So yeah.
Is it just because you didn't grow up near a body of water?
What's that?
Is it because you didn't grow up near a body of water?
I didn't grow up near body water. I never learned to swim.
Oh, you didn't know how to swim?
Yeah, I was not. It's not the thing. Yeah.
Then maybe that's why the shark movies don't appeal, because you definitely like, oh, I can maybe outswim that.
Over the River has some pitches. When Sharky met Sally. Honey, I Shrunk the Shark. That's got potential. I've got notes. Two girls and one shark. Yeah. Also.
Wait, 2 girls, 1 shark in a pizza place, or just 2 girls and 1 shark? Oh man, you know what? This never happen. And correct me if I'm wrong, internet. Has there ever been a shark TV series?
Surely
it can't be serious.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I that's a legit question. Shark TV series. It just has Shark with James Wood, but I think he was a lawyer. Mystic Shark with Mystic Pizza.
Oh, there was a game show called Card Sharks.
Oh, I loved Card Sharks. Did you watch Card Sharks?
I remember Card Sharks.
Card Sharks was great. You got to pull up an image of Jabberjaws if that's going to literally be the only...
Jabberjaw. Oh, yeah. Jabberjaw.
You remember the song? They call me Jabba 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 Jaws, the most futuristic shark you ever saw. For some reason, he talked like Curly from the Three Stooges.
Yeah, he was Curly from the Three Stooges.
Yeah. What is it? Why can't... Dude, we got to go back in time. Like, why can't we make a pitch like this and have people give us money? Just like, I got a pitch for you, all right? It's going to be a shark. It sounds like he's from the Three Stooges, but he's in a band. Oh, yeah. Here's some money. Make that happen.
Every cartoon, for some reason, had a band in it. Like, back in... there was just a period. Here's Jabberjaw.
Yeah, that's it.
There was just a period where it was just like... We do things, we do whatever. I guess solve mysteries, and then we're in a band.
Exactly. Why are bands always solving mysteries? Is it because they were all stoned?
I feel like Jabberjaw was a little bit of public shark rehabilitation, right?
Yeah.
Because people were so terrified and honestly like prejudiced of sharks for a while.
Oh yeah, I mean, a lot of people actually started wiping sharks out. I mean, I think Shark Week has turned people around to that. Kralak's Air Jaws, the documentary, should be on the list of best shark movies. 60 minutes of great whites jumping out of water. I don't think people realize that sharks attacked like that and jumped out of the water until Air Jaws, right?
What's Air Jaws? Is that real?
Yeah, Air Jaws is real, dude.
Oh.
That's part of Shark Week. They usually go into South Africa or Australia. They do the fake seals, and they show the sharks breaching the water. It's great.
Oh,
Street sharks.
Street Sharks is good.
Street Sharks. Last one, Good Shark Hunting. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that you got Quint in that one. For sure. Oh, dude, you know what they do? Speaking of pitches, if it was Hanna-Barbera, I know you own both of these franchises because I think I've seen them both in wacky races. I want to see Jabberjaws versus Grape Ape.
In a what?
In a fight. I mean, I want to see Godzilla versus Kong.
Wait, did Jabberjaw ever fight though?
No,
wasn't he like a scaredy cat?
He was a scaredy cat, and I think that's what would make it very appealing, right? They got to be the same. You got a picture of Grape Ape riding in the back of that Jeep?
Let me see.
Grape Ape. Look at that, dude. That is the modern day Kong versus Godzilla. Mike was just telling us about that last night, that he had some great notes for that of Kong versus Godzilla. But can't you see Grape Ape versus Jabberjaw? I think that's the modern day versus movie that we need.
I can't get the... Let's see.
I think a lot of people got grape ape mixed up with Magilla gorilla, which were two completely different ones.
So wait, why was he a grape ape? He was just purple.
Yeah, exactly.
And
they were also solving mysteries.
It was him and a dog, right?
Yeah, it's produced by Hanna-Barbera. The title character, the Great Grape Ape, is a 40-pound purple gorilla with the mind of a child. His catchphrase was saying his name twice: "Grape Ape, Grape Ape."
A 40-pound gorilla? That doesn't seem very big.
40-foot gorilla.
40-foot gorilla.
40-foot gorilla. He travels the countryside with his canine pal, Beagle, voiced by who calls him Beagly.
Yes.
Which I think, yeah. Oh, man, dude, this is Grape Ape versus Jabberjaws. Let's make it happen.
Grape Ape also went on to inspire a strain of cannabis. That's a shoot. You can get it at your local dispensary.
I would totally want it. I would partake in that. He was part of the Yogi Yahooies and the Scoobies All-Star Laugh Olympics when they used to make animated specials around the Olympics. I don't know if you ever watched that.
The what?
The Scooby All-Stars Laugh Olympics, Scooby All-Stars.
Scooby All-Stars, no.
Yeah, it was the Scooby Doobies versus the Yagi Yahooies versus the Really Rottens. And they just basically took every heel from a Hanna-Barbera cartoon and put them on a team, and they made them compete in Olympic events. I'm telling you, dude, we'd be billionaires in the 70s because these bitches are ground balls, and they were just throwing money at them. Oh, man. But, oh, Mike did. So, did you see the AEW crossover with Adult Swim? And they advertised meat while it is on.
Oh my gosh!
I think I did see the poster.
Didn't Cartoon Network just get shut down?
Did they?
Yeah, I think they're RIP.
RIP. Yes, over the river, the wheels are definitely coming off the shark bus. We're going into the deep weeds. We're a ball in the deep weeds right now. But yeah. I mean, going back to, we're having fun with the shark stuff, but again, Shark Week. Are you watching anything with Shark Week?
I don't have Discovery.
Oh, man. So
Discovery's hard to get.
It is hard.
It's not. I thought it's not like it's on basic cable or anything. It's a whole other thing.
It is a whole. Well, it's part of Max now, so you could catch it on HBO Max. But it is definitely one of those entities that they make it really difficult for you to give them your money.
Yeah,
which is a pet peeve. But I don't know if you've been keeping up with Shark Week for the past couple of years.
I haven't.
But I mean, so hear me out, and this is all a shoot. There's no comedy in there. These are all shows that you'd be watching in biology class because they're shoot. Michael Phelps versus a shark. They actually have a race if Michael Phelps can outswim a shark, and that actually happens. But they do it using science.
Oh, gotcha.
Then they had Mike Tyson versus a shark. If literally shark puncher, right? They wanted to see if Mike Tyson could fight a shark.
Yeah.
Again, science.
Right.
Then they had Shaq swims with sharks. Mm-hmm. So you have celebrities now becoming a part of this, where these shark hunters and these marine biologists, they're like rock stars.
Yeah.
They're 100% rock stars. You got celebrities going out there. Ronda Rousey was out there. The Rock was out there a few years ago. John Cena's hosting Shark Week this year.
I saw that.
Yeah, I mean, they're pulling like major names. And you're just getting people like just are wanting the shark rub to just be a part of this event. Mm-hmm. But it's all just great stuff. Like one show that I haven't watched yet, but I did record it on YouTube TV, is called Shark versus the Blob. And I was like, that's right up our alley, right? You got
Shark versus the Blob from the film?
Yeah. But again, science. Because there's some kind of blob that somehow these sharks are repellent to, or there's something about it that the sharks are a little bit scared of it, and they don't know what the blob is. And again, science.
Yeah.
Kardashians getting fed to sharks would get a pop from me. Can you imagine just like swerve from that? Of just like, yeah, you're going to be on the show, and then surprise your chum.
That's like some, yeah.
Yeah, but if you have a chance, the ones that I just mentioned are worth the watch because it's an hour of fantastic educational entertainment. Dare I say, infotainment.
Yeah.
But you have to watch Michael Phelps versus the shark. You can probably catch it on YouTube now. And Mike Tyson versus a shark.
I'll see if I can get a max password and get that in.
Just do it. I think they're all on YouTube now because Shark Week is so popular that the other educational channels are biting, pardon the pun, biting that style. So National Geographic Channel now has Shark Fest that drops a few days earlier than Shark Week.
Wow.
That probably confuses brand confusion. Like, oh yeah, I thought Shark Week started.
No, it's Shark Fest, dummy.
No, this is Shark Fest that is completely different. I want to see what year Shark Week actually started. Because it goes back a while. Shark Week is the annual week-long Shark TV themed programming block at the Discovery Channel. Originally premiered July 17th, 1988.
That was Shark Week?
Shark Week started in 1988.
Wow.
So I think, I think they cornered the market. And it took a long time for them to for people to start biting on that, for sure. We should put Sharkapalooza in June.
I'm into it.
we just got to jump ahead of it a little bit.
There's a fishing tournament in October called Sharkathon.
Sharkathon?
Yeah.
Did you do Jaws on the Water did you do any of the Jaws on the Water?
I've never done Jaws on the Water.
Oh, man, dude.
I'm not a water guy at all.
Well, so the one I did was year 2 where they actually just had black tires that it just cut up your arms.
The tubes or a tire?
The tubes.
Okay.
Yeah. They just cut up your arm.
Yeah.
Before they got the branded shark ones. But I don't even know, does Alamo do rolling road shows anymore?
No, I don't think so. Not since they expanded quite a bit.
But they did a great job with this. So they had water skiers beforehand. They had giant beer pong with volleyballs and then the yellow barrels that were in Jaws. Everything was a shark themed event because you had to wait for it to get dark before you can start showing the movies.
Sure.
They did one at a water ski spot. They did another one at a lake, but it just turned into basically a day-long shark festival.
Okay.
I'm surprised he didn't do it. I think just with Alamo, I don't know if Sony's going to bring that back. To me, that's one of the biggest glaring gaps that they got rid of, other than, movies, pray, not, I keep wanting to say movies, pray, die. Eat, movies, sleep. What was that website that they had?
Birth, Death, Movies.
Birth, Death, Movies.
Yeah.
That's a glaring one. Mondo, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure somebody's written a book on the Alamo history, but there's a lot of stuff in their early sort of development before they got really big. That was great. I remember they used to have open screen night where you just go. They had a bin out in the lobby. You put your tape in there, and they'd start up the projector and just pick tapes out of the bin and play your stuff.
Yeah.
Man,
and I don't know if that's going to change, but they really never done any kind of shark and or Jaws themed event other than Jaws on the Water, right?
I mean, that was one of the original ones.
I mean, that's the one that got them national coverage. People were like, "Oh, you're in Texas?"
Yeah.
Jaws on the Water. You're seeing that big Newsweek and Time magazine were picking that up.
Yeah.
I mean, that press was unreal. Other than Quentin Tarantino talking about a glass of beer in the movies, I think that Jaws on the Water to me was the most that you saw about Alamo countrywide. People all knew about Jaws on the Water. And it was an annual event also in July, which is the month that sharks own.
Yeah.
They need to get back to that. What do you think is the future of shark movies? You think that they're never going to stop, right?
No, I mean, it's a genre. It's like pop zombie movies, space. I think shark is always going to be something. Once someone comes up with a new gimmick for a shark, I'm sure there's some executives got a desk full of shark scripts right now. That is all kinds of different shark pitches. There was a bunch of them here on the stream in the chat.
Yeah,
they're going to keep coming.
You just got to go through our chat.
We get a shark. I'm sure we get a shark movie at least every year.
Yeah.
It may be under the radar, may go straight to streaming. Who knows? But
Well, that was this year and went under both our radars. Was
Yeah.
under Paris.
Under Paris.
Oh, the other one from Shark Week before I forget is Jackass versus Sharks. They were
wow.
doing this. I'm Johnny Knoxville, and this is jumping over sharks. And they actually got bit by the shark, like for a shoot. Like he mistimed his jump, and the shark bit him. And they were just legit acting like it was like no big deal.
Yeah.
And now there's a few people that are kind of up in arms of that. Like, shouldn't be like messing with the sharks like that. And I don't think the intention ever was to get bit, obviously, but he did get bit.
Yeah.
For a shoot. So that's another one that you got to watch.
Okay.
Oh my God, we forgot about the granddaddy of sharks. The term jumping the shark. Freaking Fonzie jumping over sharks.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, that was such a big deal back then. What year was that?
Let's see.
There's got to be an image for that, because it was a big deal when Fonzie jumped over barrels. It was another thing when Fonzie jumped over sharks. And I remember that was event television, because that was a two-parter, I believe. And they played it so masterfully. The way they booked this was the year before, Fonzie, or it was, I don't know if it was the year before, when Fonzie tried to jump over the barrels, he didn't make it. Remember, he slid and he crashed.
Yeah.
So when they played this, they booked this like Fonzie might not be able to make this jump. And yes, he wore his leather jacket on the water skis. Oh, it was just glorious entertainment.
Was this the final season of Happy Days?
No, it was not the final season.
No.
But it was what people considered jumping the shark.
Right.
Right, that the series was never the same.
This is when the series peaked, and it was on a downwards trajectory after that.
And that's when Jefferson Darcy came. Ted McGinley had to replace Richie, who left because Richie went into the army.
And Ted McGinley is like series poison.
Series poison,
Yeah.
which I hope not, because did you know he's in Shrinking, which is a great show on Apple.
Oh, is he
Plus.
really?
Yeah. But he started off there, so maybe the rules don't apply to that. But again, there's no way you can say that Happy Days was not leaning into Jaws fever at this time when he's jumping over sharks.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, like thinking about the future of shark media, I think it should be required that there is a serious movie about sharks every year in July. And I think if Discovery is the one that has to put up the money, then so be it.
They got plenty.
But do you think you're ever going to run out of any shark branded content?
I mean, I didn't even know there was so much as it is. I've never followed Shark Week as closely as we have tonight, and there is a lot of stuff going on.
There really is.
And like even all those movies on that list, I'd never heard of any of those. Most of those.
Really?
I've heard of the top 4 or whatever, like you said, but like, yeah, I just think it's a genre now. It's an iconic animal, and it's dangerous. People are scared of it. I think you'll always have shark movies, shark shows, shark whatever.
I wonder how his inflection was when he said "ay" over the shark. Man, that was such a big deal too.
Claylax. I'm totally in for a shark for president. Please, let's do it.
I think we would do that. That's that they have my vote.
Hammerhead shark for president.
To me, like, yeah, hammerheads are probably like the second shark that kind of comes in your head that are like mesmerizing.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the shark special when we found out that killer whales have their own built-in Wi-Fi, that they send signals to each other and they teach each other lessons across the ocean?
Wait, wasn't that on Star Trek?
The search for Star Trek 4, right? Wasn't it the whales?
Yeah. The whales were talking to aliens.
Yes, the whales they were not here for us, they were here for the aliens.
Yeah.
But they had the special where the killer whales found out that if you flip a great white shark over, it goes paralyzed. It paralyzes it. It's like it just floats there and then they kill it. So this killer whale had picked up this great white shark upside down. It grabbed it, it flipped it, and then it went paralyzed. And it showed these this boat of people going by that like, look, I got this. And they don't even eat the whole shark. In the ironic twist of sharks don't eat people, they're just test biting you.
Yeah.
The killer whales only eat the shark's liver, and they just leave the rest.
What?
Like for waste. But here's the thing. It happened like in California, and there was never any footage of this happening or any record of it happening. And then after that, people were seeing sharks in the Atlantic Ocean, the same thing happening to them with killer whales. They were flipping them, and they figured out like that was their weakness. And they were like, how did the killer whales here tell the killer whales there, this is how you do it?
Whale-fi.
Whale-fi.
Yeah.
It was their own built-in Wi-Fi that they, as soon as one whale learned it, they updated it, and it updated the OS on all the killer whales that they know how to do sharks. And sharks, that's it, man. Like, there's a fluid in these sharks that I also learned in Shark Week that like only a dead shark will secrete. And if you put a drop of that in the water, and they showed the footage of it, as soon as that hit the water, this shark was like, it spun around like comically like Benny Hill and swam away the fastest I've ever seen a shark swim away. Because basically it said, hey, if you end up here, you could be dead like this dude. And that's fluid. And it just swam away. It could have seriously been playing the Benny Hill music. It swam the fastest I've ever seen a shark swim away just to live. Yeah.
Wow.
Science is crazy, bro. Oh, and hammerheads are the best fruit snack shake.
Well, I fully expect to see this in the next shark horror movie where they find out that just flipping them upside down is the way to beat them.
Yeah, because if you think about that, how are you going to... It's like, so there's got to be a person, right, that's got to figure out how to flip it.
Yeah.
What was that movie? Oh, with Leonardo DiCaprio, The Beach.
Yeah.
Right? That shark was in his face, and he just somehow got the knife, and he screamed, and he, like, stabbed it in the jaw. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe he could have just flipped it over and
So how does the shark not flip back over?
It just drops to the bottom.
It just doesn't... It just
gives up. It just gives up. It's like it respects the pin. Like, okay, you pinned me. And it's just like, I guess I'll go die now. Now, the killer whales, they were picking up and do it. But yeah, dude, it's wild, man. Like, who coded this shark, right? You're making the OS for like the largest predator in the seas, just like Hooper says, right? All this thing does is eat, sleep, and make baby sharks. And they're like, okay, but one more thing. If it's upside down, it dies.
Yeah.
Wait, why are we putting that in the code? Just trust me, we need it. A shark baby face movie could be cool.
Yeah.
Like maybe in the vein of like maybe Free Willy? Or just like a shark. Oh, have you ever heard this? Speaking of baby faces, right? Because dolphins are the baby faces of the sea.
Right.
Have you ever heard that if there's dolphins in the water, there won't be sharks because they protect you? They're like bodyguards.
What do you mean?
So if you're swimming...
Oh, wait. Sharks are afraid of dolphins?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because dolphins fight sharks.
Yeah.
Like they go and they tease them and they poke at them. Like they're kind of bullies in that sense.
Really?
But they'll protect humans. If there's sharks in there, they'll get you.
They're the Daniel LaRussos of the sea.
So the sharks are Johnny Lawrence and the dolphins are Daniel LaRusso.
What would a babyface shark movie be?
Man, I don't know.
It's got to be like an action thing, like a revenge, like a John Wick kind of a thing.
It's like so they killed maybe the something happened to the shark's family.
Yeah, maybe a bunch of killer whales kill a shark's family, right?
Yeah. So they go.
So you've got a great white shark taking on a herd of killer whales.
The John Wick style, right? He just has to use all these moves that he couldn't normally do.
Yeah.
And they're just like, just flip him on his back. Just flip him on his back. And maybe he's getting trained by like an older shark with a white beard showing him how not to flip onto his back.
Right. There's like some jujitsu move that'll keep you face up.
See, the future for shark movies are bright. I was trying to go through some of these other titles before we wrap up here.
Is it Shark Week shows?
No, there's any, like, I don't know if there's any movies that we missed. So, according to IMDb, there is over 200 shark movies that are out there.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Titles.
Yeah.
Right? And so Deep Blue Sea, Jaws, all the ones we talked about. I mean, I guess they count all the sequels to The Last Sharknado, Jaws Revenge. There's one called Kon-Tiki I never heard of. That was in it's
Isn't there
The Reef. That was one we missed.
there's a couple of I've seen on Amazon. Isn't there like Santa Jaws?
I think there is a Santa Jaws.
And there's one called Cruel Jaws.
Cool Jaws. I think you're right.
Yeah.
What if the dolphins help defend the sharks for once instead of fighting them? Oh, it could be like the Jets and the Sharks in freaking West Side Story.
Right. Well, that would be like the Cobra Kai series to the original Shark Karate Kid movie that happened before. That's the reboot. That's the reboot show. Shark movie like The Pursuit of Happiness, where the shark works to get ahead.
Very inspiring.
Yeah.
If you got whale blubber, you got to protect it. You got to protect your dreams. Mm-hmm. That would be dope. I'm trying to see if there's Shark Night. We talked about Three-Headed Shark. It's a sequel to Two-Headed Shark, and then they produced the sequel Five-Headed Shark. Into the Blue.
Though that was about the surfer.
It was the smugglers. Was there a shark in there?
I don't know.
Jessica Alba and what's his name from Fast and Furious?
Oh, that wasn't the one where the girl got her arm bit off by a shark and she kept surfing?
Oh, maybe it was that.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Six-Headed Shark, The Shallows, Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus. 47 Meters Down had a sequel called Uncaged. Mega Shark versus Crocosaurus. Open Water 2 sequel is called Adrift.
Mm-hmm.
Dark Waters, Shark Attack, Shark Attack 2, Sharks Attack in the Mediterranean. There's a lot of sharks getting associated with dinosaurs. Sky Sharks.
Sky Sharks? That sounds good.
Deep in the ice of the Antarctic, a team of geologists uncover an old Nazi lab still intact where dark experiments occurred. In order to conquer the world, the Nazis created modified sharks who were able to fly. Such a Nazi thing to do.
Yeah.
Sand Shark, Ghost Shark, Ghost Shark 2 Urban Jaws.
What is Ghost Shark?
Ghost Shark? Let's see. Ghost Shark.
Yeah, Santa Jaws is a thing. It's on Tubi.
When rednecks on a fishing trip kill a great white shark, its spirit comes back for revenge and soon turns its sights on the town of Smallport. Oh, that's right. So the ghost shark was able to float and attack people outside the water.
Yeah.
Because it was now a ghost. Freaking rednecks, man.
Don't forget you had
Swamp Shark.
You had a Shark's Tale.
Oh, yes.
With Will Smith.
Tale, that's right.
You had Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Oh, yeah. I guess you got to kind of put that in there.
There is the one called Jersey Shore Shark Attack featuring all the Guidos.
What?
Yeah, it's on Tubi.
Oh, Tubi. Well, dude, do the Tubi pitch. I know it's Shark Week, but you got to. You're saying, what did you call it? I thought it was a great.
It's like the modern day video shelf.
That you're just randomly going to find something like a gem, right?
Well, it's just like there used to be a time where I feel like if you just completed a film, it could come out, right? Like, it's like you got all the way, you rented the 16 millimeter camera, you got it done, and you made the film, and you had that, and you made a box, and it would be you could get it on the shelf, right? That was like a thing, and then DVDs as well. But now it's just like streaming channels are kind of like moderating their content. It's weird, but there's like so many just random independent films, mostly genre films, on Tubi.
On Tubi.
Yeah. And you can get it on there, and it's like, I know you can get them on Amazon and all that stuff, but for some reason, Tubi is really scooping up all those indie horror films.
That's great. I'm happy for Tubi, because if you put it on YouTube, it's going to get lost. No offense to our
YouTube is not really a movie. No one goes to YouTube to watch a movie.
Right.
Every time YouTube offers me a movie, I'm like, what? Why would I do that?
Even if it offered you Ghost Shark: The Way of the Samurai, starring Forrest Whitaker.
No, if I'm on YouTube, I'm not in the mood for that.
You're right. I don't think people would watch movies on YouTube.
Sometimes YouTube spits out a movie at me for some reason. I'm just like, turn this off.
Man, Tubi. I wonder if Tubi is playing Damn Sharks.
Okay, Soul Surfer is the movie I'm talking about, where the surfer got bit, lost an arm.
Oh, okay. So that's more of a serious shark movie, right?
Yeah.
Unlike Dam Sharks, where ferocious sharks use human bodies to build dams. Atomic Shark.
You can watch Sand Sharks on Tubi as well.
Oh, okay. 2014, they made no bones of what they were doing. 90210 Shark Attack.
There we go.
And they leaned right into Ian Ziering. It's like, oh yeah, we got that too. It's called 90210 Shark Attack. Blue Demon, Creature, Cyclone, Dark Tide, Dark Waters, The Deep. Oh, The Deep was 1977. Dude, do you remember The Deep?
I remember the box.
Yeah. In Bermuda, 2 amateur treasure hunters divers have a run-in with local criminals when they inadvertently discover a secret cargo of a World War II shipwreck. The Deep was like, that was up like around, that was the same year as Jaws. No, 2 years later. But it was like that and Orca the Killer Whale. I think they were going for those ocean movies after Jaws. But that one I would consider like more of a serious movie.
Yeah.
Jacqueline Bisset, Nick Nolte were in that. Dino Shark, Psycho Attack, Jersey Shore Shark Attack, there it is. Jurassic Shark, Mako, The Jaws of Death, Malibu Shark Attack.
2016 had Sharkenstein. 2015 had Raiders of the Lost Shark.
What? Oh, man.
And look, someone did exactly this. So we got a Jurassic Shark movie.
Yeah, there's like, remember the pitch? Let's just make a movie of it.
Yeah. Oh, look, I think somebody already did, what were we, Satan Shark? We got Shark Exorcist.
Oh, sure.
So I think someone hopped on this. All ideas have been done. It's all in the ethosphere.
I don't know if, this is Enzo Calisteri. This must have been Italian Jaws, called The Last Shark.
Yeah.
Marina Monster, Megalodon, Devilfish, Piranha Sharks.
Robo Shark.
Yeah, Raiders of the Lost Shark, Redwater, Shark Zone, Shark Hunter. Man, dude, this is a monster subgenre. I just had no idea how many there really was.
Avalanche Shark. Super Shark. Trailer Park Shark.
Wait, dude, 1958, She Gods of Shark Reef.
What is that?
2 brothers, one wanted for murder, are shipwrecked on an island inhabited by nubile young women who have amassed a valuable cache of pearls. That sounds really good. Again, that might be a serious one. Mike called out the street sharks. That was very important in pop culture. I guess Finding Nemo does have a shark in there, so it fell under there.
Does that have an evil shark or a nice shark?
I think it has a heel shark.
It's got a heel shark?
Yeah. Night of the Sharks.
Sharks. Yeah, I mean, so it's never going to end.
Did you know that Shark Boy, the wrestler, sued Troublemaker Studios for the adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl? Shark Boy did come first. Remember Shark Boy from TNA?
Yeah, I remember that.
He was probably like I would say he was the Danhausen of his time, where everybody kind of knew Shark Boy, where he's a great wrestler, but his character was very memorable. Like he was on the verge of like the crossover, and he actually did, before Shark Week blew up like this, he did host it one year. I don't know, that would be an interesting Where Are They Now, Shark Boy. I don't remember if he won that.
2018 had Post-Apocalyptic Commando Shark.
Oh, God. Oh, man, Kralek, Trailer Park Shark better include some prank calls. Hey, they're up there hitting each other with the hot mops, these sharks up there. Hey, Lizard Lips, I'm talking to you. Dude, that would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Shark and Saw Women's Prison Massacre. Women in prison was such a huge genre that somebody said, let's make it a shark in Arkansas.
Yeah.
But a women in prison at the same time. That's a great title.
Man, it's just there's so much untapped shark entertainment out there.
Eagle versus shark, toxic shark.
I remember Eagle versus Shark. That was a funny little movie, similar to Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, okay. Dude, I feel like we owe it to ourselves to, before Shark Week ends, we have to take in a shark movie that's not named Jaws. Just like randomly Tubi, let's go to Tubi, find what shark movie is on there, and just watch it. And if it's Robo Shark, so be it.
Robo Shark could be good. Let's see, what are our options again? Tubi
Shark movies, or we just commit to the Shark Under Paris on Netflix, but they don't need our eyes like Tubi needs our eyes.
Tubi needs our eyes.
Tubi needs our eyes. I think Tubi can save. I mean, Netflix has got so much money. Like Tubi needs our eyes. I think you've been giving Tubi a lot of love. I mean, you've been posting about, like, we've done some shorts on Tubi. I mean, you've been all about Tubi for a long time.
Oh my gosh, let me look. I'll just pull this up real quick. I got the Tubi shark page up.
All right. There's the shark page for Tubi. Look at that.
Shark bait, swim, killer shark, blood bite, shark attacks, shark waters, blind waters, cocaine shark. What? I'm going to have to go with cocaine shark.
That's a safe bet.
We're probably getting demonetized for saying that. I don't think you're supposed to say that.
Honestly, I think that was actually a special on Shark Week, too. Because isn't that based on a true story?
Yeah, I think it's, loosely based.
Like, how do you prove that?
Sharks of the Corn.
Like Children of the Corn,
Yeah,
but sharks?
of the Corn, yeah. Ouija shark. Ouija board shark.
Oh, my God, dude.
Invisible shark. They got cruel jaws. Look, they got your favorite, the Shallows.
Yes, the Shallows is on there. Wow.
We got all the Sharknadoes, it looks like. Psycho Shark.
Wait, so Psycho Shark keeps his mom's corpse in the basement and dresses up like her?
I'm not
that
sure.
That would be dope.
We got Sharkula. Look, this is even more than we were finding before.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Tubi is another... This is independent filmmaking utopia here.
Tubi's goldmine. Like, and they're probably... Like, are these filmmakers making any money playing on Tubi? No. But, I mean, they have a platform, right?
Yeah.
Like, distribution used to be the hardest thing.
Sharknado Feeding Frenzy.
How do you pitch a movie to get on Tubi? Like,
well, I think you just have to make it, and then send them the tape, and they'll put it on. They got Jersey Shore, Target, Puppet Sharks.
Puppet Sharks.
Yeah. Shark Side of the Moon.
Oh my God. I mean, I think Baby Shark, the song, was a heel for a while, right? That it just drove people crazy.
Yeah.
I think they can totally make a Baby Shark.
Ouija Shark got a sequel.
Ouija Shark.
And here's Arkansas Women's Prison.
Oh, it is on there?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I might have to watch that one. You know, I'm a sucker for a women in prison movie. And now you're going to throw a freaking shark in there?
Virus Shark. That was very timely in 2021. Doll Shark. There's Zombie Shark. Monsternado. Street Sharks. Street Sharks.
Street Sharks is on there.
Remember Street Sharks?
Yeah. Yeah, Mike was talking about that. They're awesome.
Snow Monster versus Ice Shark.
Oh, that's a slam dunk, right? You got a Bigfoot fighting a shark?
So, yeah. Shark Encounters of the Third Kind. There's Sky Sharks. I don't know. I feel like this is just goes on and on.
It doesn't it?
This could go on forever.
Maybe the spinoff that we never know we needed was the Austin Powers spinoff and just call it Freaking Sharks with freaking lasers on their head.
I'm surprised that is not a thing.
All right, man. I think that'll be our goal. I think that there was a lot of shark talk.
Yeah.
Well, Shark Week was fun.
Nailed.
I think we need to do this every year. Maybe.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, good call on Shark Week, man.
If you was just accidentally wearing the Shark Week shirt in honor of Shark Week, I probably have this shirt as long as Shark Week existed.
Yeah.
So
did you get that at a truck stop or something?
I feel like I did.
Is that one of those truck stop shirts
is,
with the huge animal faces?
Yeah, exactly. Wait, you had a tiger one, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah. I feel like it was from the same family.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
The tiger one was dope. I remember thinking that when I first saw you coming to work with that. I was like, that is dope. I was like, I got the shark one of that. Electric Shark Boogaloo, I think, has to be there. Beneath the Planet of the Sharks or Shark Boogaloo. I'm surprised that, a musical shark movie could be it, too.
Well, speaking of which, I mean, if what is the biggest kid song of all time?
Baby Shark, right?
Baby Shark.
Right?
Yep.
Oh, man, that's got to be a heel movie, though, right? What if you were listening to that song as a shark was circling you? That's got to be...
It's a very Tarantino type move.
That's like double terrifying.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, there's the music.
There it is. That's a wrap. So Shark Week was fun. So happy Shark Week if you celebrate. But I think if you're watching this, you do celebrate and enjoy these majestic creatures, but respect them. Like, I like sharks. I don't like to go to their house. They don't come to my house. We kind of have this truce that we stick to. So there's no land sharks. So I'm not really into, like, as much as I want to surf, I don't think I would surf because I would always see that silhouette in the water.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if I would boogie board.
Well,
just knowing that they're there.
For anybody who watched this, I hope this was insightful.
Yes.
And now you know if you're getting attacked by a shark, just flip it on its back. And it's over.
It's very wrestling,
It's
right?
done. Had Roy Schreider had known that in Jaws, would have been a very different movie. That's so wild. That's like a wrestling finisher.
Exactly.
Just flip him on his back and he drowns.
And then he's just done. Because we've heard that they couldn't stop either. But the flipping thing just blew my mind. So thank you, Killer Whales, for doing that. So thanks, guys, for partaking in Dose Incredibles Shark Week. And we'll see you again.
What are we doing next week?
Something.
Okay, we'll be here. Just check the internet.
Yes, check the internet. That's where we are.
All right.
See yous.
Later.
Later.